Okay, here's a second method that is great, real fun, but extremely demanding on the machine, and works mainly really for objects like that. When you get to be complicated object with a lot of polyfaces, it ain't gonna work. Alright. So it works like that. You make sure you unwrap your mesh, okay, like I showed you guys. So it's nice and clean, like you see in the previous video. So like that, the map, let me go see the map right here, is nice and clean. You have your object unwrapped, it's ready to go. You have no other ways, okay? Now, as soon as you're done with that, what you do is you select your object, you go to File, Export Selection, and you're going to click, and you're going to go all the way to OBJ Export. If you cannot find it, it means it hasn't been started by Maya. Maya does that to not use that much resources. So you need to go, let me see, in your Windows, one second, yeah, Windows, Setting and Preferences, Plugin Manager. It opens the Plugin Manager window. You go all the way and you look into OBJ Export right here, and you load it and auto load it. It's very useful, so keep it auto loaded. Okay, so you select your object, you go to File, Export Selection, and let me put it in my SU, and we'll call it Tree Trunk. We select OBJ Export. Oops, that's 2 E's. And we click Export Selection. That's simple. Now in Photoshop, right here, we close that one. We are going to, let me put it the size of the recording for you guys. We are going to now open it up, that 3D file, just like a regular file, believe it or not, and it's going to open in 3D in Photoshop. Yep. So you go to File, Open, and you're going to find Tree Trunk OBJ right here. You want to be careful. There's 2 tree trunk files: the OBJ, treetrunk.obj, or treetrunk.mtl. The MTL is for the material. That's the unwrap you've done. Without it, you can't paint in Photoshop with it. Okay? So you select the OBJ and not the MTL. Select the OBJ and you click Open. It will ask you, you want to do a new one? Yeah, cool. That works. You okay? And it's going to open it up right here. Let me make it big. As a 3D file. That's true. You can now zoom in. Alright. Right here. That's your file. Alright. You can rotate it in 3D. But best of all, you can select all the tools from Photoshop and paint. So when you start the first time, oh, it gave me an error. Hold on a second. There you go. The first time, sometimes it might give you an error. Most likely not, if my computer is slow with all the tools that I have on. But it will create the file for you. Sometimes it will ask you, do you want to really paint in 3D? And you say, yes, I do. You know, and then it will actually, you know, you're right, I'm much bigger. You know, it will actually let you paint on it and then rotate whatever you want right here. Now, if you go to the layers right here and it says diffuse texture, and you double click on the Lambert one, it will open the diffuse map with the unwrap that you've done. So right here, you can grab your texture and do exactly what we did earlier. Okay? Or better than that, actually, let me undo that. You can make a sorry. you can make a seamless texture of it. So a pattern, basically you define a pattern because it's seamless. Alright. And then after you made your pattern, you can go in and do a selection. Oh. Yeah. Manually you have to do it. And you get a little path. So a little tighter right here. Alright. And then you go to your fill. One second. So you go to your paint bucket and you change the foreground, that to pattern. We've done that, the class. Select your tree, make a new layer and put it in, and you have, when you close it, it'll say save. You said yes. And if you go, your tree will be right here. Alright. So now you have your tree right there. Now what you do is that you make sure you save that layer right here. That's much better. So you go save as. And we'll go desktop, ASU, and we'll put it as a JPEG as usual. We'll keep the label default texture name. We'll recognize that. Okay. And now you go into Maya, and you simply go to your material attribute, and in the file, you just put that new layer. Right here. And your file is fully textured perfectly, seamlessly. So that's the second way. Alright. And again, you can paint in it, you can do a lot of stuff like that. As I just showed you, it's kind of fun, but remember, it's limited to the power of your computer, so don't come complain, oh, it crashed, blah, 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 and so forth. It will crash. Okay? Thank you, and have fun.